Now, so welcome everybody once more. Delighted to have you here for our training session this evening on how to stop wasting time and start earning money on social media. Now, regardless of your experience, you don't worry about that whatsoever. I'm going to assume you know nothing, okay? And we're going to go through this together over the next period of time that we have together. So if you have any distractions on, like TV in the background, or if you have other tabs open on the computer, I'd really appreciate if you close them, because I'm telling you, you will really be delighted that you gave this your full focus here. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. And let's get rocking and rolling on this, because what I'm going to be sharing with you on our class here this evening is how you can use time that you may already be spending on the internet each week to start bringing over a minimum of $5,000 a month in your spare time. So hands up if that's something that might interest you. Okay, it might sound a little bit hypey to begin with, but you're going to realize that as we go through this, that not at all, that I'm actually being quite conservative here in terms of what I'm going to be showing you today. Now, best of all, you can get started with this type of business for less than what you would spend on tea or coffee in a day, which is pretty amazing when you think about it. Now, I'm also going to have a very special bonus for you this evening, or depending where you are in the world. Provided that you stay until the end, I'm going to give you our very special checklist of how to do the perfect Instagram post. Okay, Instagram is just killing it right now in terms of having amazing results from people with online businesses. So if you hang on till the end, I'm going to give you a link, no catches. You get a link to download this very specific template that I have for you as to how to make your very own perfect Instagram post template. As a very special thank you for being here with me. So we're going to get started looking at the following, right? We're going to go through the 4-step process to making $5,000 or more per month with Twitter and Facebook primarily, no matter how inexperienced you are. I'm also going to be sharing with you how you'll be able to get started on this opportunity in just a few minutes from now. But I also want you to understand why social media is an absolute must for you, right? Regardless of whether you like it or not, that's kind of irrelevant, because how we think about social media on a day-to-day basis is completely differently to what I'm going to be sharing with you. And I'll also be explaining how I've managed to make literally millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars at this point, from something I'd absolutely no experience in to begin with, and I'm not techie at all, and managed to do all of this in something that I knew nothing about to begin with. So that's something I'm going to share with you today, and I really hope it inspires you to realize what you can do. And in addition, I'm going to share with you, after we've gone through the 4-step process, then I'm going to be sharing with you the 5th step, a secret 5th step that, for me and from the experience that I've had with my students and clients for the last 10 years almost, this 5th step is what will make you 100% more likely to be successful than anybody else. And I'll also be sharing this with you in the time that we have together this evening. Okay, so let's just be clear what this is not also, because I've clarified what it is about. It's about how to make money from social media. It's not about this. It's not about taking selfies. It's not about sharing the fact that you've just had dinner in a particular restaurant and taking pictures of it, or telling people you've just had a cup of coffee in Starbucks, right? That's not what we mean by social media, right? We're talking about the same networks, all right, Facebook and Twitter and so on, but we're going to be using it from a completely different perspective. Coming to the dark side, you could almost say. You can join me on the dark side, because it's not about engaging in these conversations and getting into discussions and arguments with people. It's actually using social media to find the perfect people for our businesses moving forward. Now, I know many of you don't have businesses just yet, but believe me, none of that is going to be an issue. I'm going to be walking you through this step by step right now. Okay, and the reason why you're so lucky to be here today is because this device has made the world just a completely incredible place to be living in right now. We have an unprecedented opportunity today in 2018 that's never existed before. Why? Because there are now more mobile phones or cell phones on the planet than people. which is absolutely incredible if you think about it. More cell phones on the planet than people. Why is this important? Because it means we can connect with pretty much the entire planet. And why is this important? Because if you want to make more money in life, there's something very quick that I can tell you, which is a realization that you may not have had before. And that is that if you want to get more money, you need to realize who has it. Other people. Other people have your money. It's not in banks. It's not your boss. A lot of people think their money is in banks. The minute you put your money into the banks, they give it to somebody else to take away right away. Other people have your money. And the key for you to being successful financially is to give other people what they want and them to give you money for that. And that's what I'm going to be explaining to you today, how we can do that with social media in a way that just hasn't been possible before. That's what's so amazing about starting this today. Pre-smartphones, this was not possible. But now that you actually have right in front of you everything that you need except for the specific strategies that you need to follow, but you have the tools, you have the Wi-Fi, you have the opportunities that people even 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, didn't have the same opportunity. So who is this for? Well, hands up if you're a business owner. I'd like to see how many business owners we have here today. Just click on the little hand icon, please, if you can. Okay, or maybe you can't see that in the one that you have, but okay, it looks like at least half of the people here are business owners. Okay, excellent, thank you. Maybe you want to be an influencer. Maybe you want to be somebody who wants to get their message out there. You're no problem in getting yourself out in front of other people, right? That's just what you want to do. Now, however, there's also a third type of person that doesn't have a business. They probably don't even like social media. In fact, what's kept them away from it for so long is that they really don't want to put themselves out there. They want to be hidden in the background, and they don't really know if this could be for them, because most people think social media is all about putting yourself out there. But the good news is everything I teach you today applies just as much to you, whether you decide to be the face of a business or whether you're going to be hidden in the background. It will work just as well. Let's think about that for a moment, right? Who created Google, or who created Coca-Cola, right? Or Nike, right? You're going to have to Google that to find out, right? They're brands, right? The people are hidden in the background. People don't even remember who they are, right? So it is absolutely no downside for you if you decide that you want to do this and not put your name out there, especially if you're in a job and you're shy and you lack confidence. Well, that's exactly how I was. I was extremely introverted before I started in all of this. And I'll tell you honestly, I wasn't a fan of social media. I don't even like it, right? But I love what it can do for my finances, right? So that's what I want you to be aware of. We're talking about a completely different way of looking at social media to how the masses view it on a day-to-day manner. So why should we take this so seriously, and why is it important today? I'll tell you why, because if you look at how people are making money today, the average way that people make money, it isn't setting people up to have a very financial or a very stable financial future. This is why we go to work in jobs in wherever it is, factories or various industries. We get paid for the time that we work. Then we go and we obviously spend that money on the essentials of life. And then we go back to replenish our money by going back to the job that we do on a day-to-day basis, getting time exchanged for money, right? So we get paid based on the number of hours that we work, yet generally speaking. Now, this is what we would call the rat race. We feel like that the more hours we work, or the longer the shifts that we put in over time, that we're going to get paid more. And we seem to be getting paid more, but somehow, even though we're working longer and harder and getting paid more, we don't seem to be getting ahead. And most people don't know why. And this is normality as Ellen Goodman describes it, which is one of my favorite quotations today. Normal is getting dressed in clothes that you buy for work, driving through traffic in a car that you are still paying for in order to get to the job you need to pay for the clothes and the car and the house that you leave vacant all day so that you can afford to live in it. The thing is this, guys, when you live in a madhouse and you're surrounded by mad people, nobody thinks they're crazy. Right? If you actually looked at how we live our lives in many cases, you could question why we do that. Why do we work 46, 47 weeks of the year in order to take 4 or 5 weeks off, right? It doesn't really seem right if you think about it, okay? So how can you break away from this kind of madness, right? Well, what I have found is that if you take some of that money and invest it into specifically learning how to run an internet business, which means being able to provide value to others and keep getting educated, right? Don't get confused between schooling and what we learned in school and getting educated, because they're completely different things. And learning how to apply these tools that we now have that we never had before, as I mentioned earlier. This is what will allow you to start to build income where it's independent of the time that you work. You get paid based on the results that you get. So this is phenomenal, because you remove all requirements for having a job, you remove all ties between money and time, and you break free of the rat race itself. Now, I want to be very clear on this. When I started back in 2009, my perception of the internet was simple, that the internet was a scam. That's just what I thought. That's what I thought everybody thought. The internet's a scam. And I went to an event, which I'll talk about later, where all these millionaires were at it and they were talking about how they made money on the internet. It didn't matter. I still thought it was a scam. Of course, I was spending money on the internet, never for a moment thinking that, of course, somebody else is making money if I'm spending money. And the interesting thing is, we live in a society today where the figures were released recently from the US that the US debt for student debt in the US has just surpassed $1.6 trillion. 1.6 trillion, that's with a T, $1.6 trillion. A couple of years ago, people were complaining about the US economic debt being at $7 trillion. The US student debt alone is $1.6 trillion. The average student that qualifies from the US has a loan to pay back of $37,000. That's before life gets expensive. That's before mortgages. That's before having children, dollar munchers or sterling munchers or euro munchers, right? And this is the crazy thing. We are setting our own children, our own families up to repeat this model where, on average, in the US, people spend in a lifetime $600,000 on interest on debt. $600,000 on interest on debt. It's time to step back and rethink this. If there's any scam going, it's the current educational system. It sets you up to be trapped for a lifetime. And I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit later, because I'm backing that up with my own history and my own life, and coming from a family where both my parents were teachers. Because if you follow the path that's laid out, it guarantees that you will be in debt for life. So we have to look at something different. We have to do it a different way. And if you look at what the number one fear of baby boomers in the US is, it's not death, it's not terrorism, it's not public speaking. Public speaking always has a bad name. The number one fear of baby boomers in the US, so people in their mid 60s now, is outliving their savings. And I remember the first time I read this, it really kind of took me aback a bit. I was quite shocked by it, because what this means is people are now more afraid of living than dying. Right? And that all comes down to a system that we have learned about and we get stuck in, and before we know it, we're too deep in it before we learn how to get out of it. And if you actually look at, if we rely on the government to take care of us, if we look at the facts, the average monthly benefit in the US is $1,294. I mean, could you live off of that? Generally, your bills tend to go up as your health decreases later in life. You work your entire life and then end up living, possibly like a homeless person for the final few years. And then we got to go and have our children look after us. And nobody really wants to be in that position, right? And the reason I'm pointing this out is, basically, I told you there is an urgency around this. Right? A lot of us don't talk about this because it's very uncomfortable, but thank you for being here today, because this could be the moment when you realize, oof, God, I hadn't really considered this, because often we're too busy running this race to realize that we're running in the wrong direction. And that's not all. We're living longer, much longer than ever before. There's a 50% chance now that among married couples that at least one will live till 92. I think if you're single, it's about 107 or 108. Right? And what about improvements in medical technology and 3D printing? Right? This should be exciting, that we're living in a time where, today you can print out identical organs to what you have, right? We're kind of counting on this in Ireland, so that we can print out brand new livers in a couple of years. But this is the first generation where we can look better in our 90s than we did in our 30s. right? This technology is now around. It's just not available to everybody yet because of the costs associated with it. So, we really need to start thinking a little bit differently, because the solution is taking control, right? Today, everything changes. Today, I'm going to be showing you how you break free from the shackles of debt and putting you in control, because it's not your fault whatsoever that we're in this situation, but it will be after today, because I will be showing you how you can break free from this kind of a situation. And why I'm such a big advocate of an online business? Well, here's just 5 reasons. You can be your own boss. You've got freedom to live and work wherever you like in the world. Um, you can have way more free time to do what it is that you want in your life. You can be financially independent. And basically, you stop exchanging time for money, but rather you invest time once and make money from that over and over and over again. So why do we use social media then? Where does social media fit into this? Because I've been outlining there, the key things as to why this is important in our lives now. Well, number one, the key to being successful with an online business is to collect what's known as a database, but in a very simple terms, basically a list of email addresses, a list of contact information of people, right? So what we're using social media for is to encourage people to give us their details. You have access to over 80% of all people online. It's here to stay. Social media is actually nothing new. People tend to think it is, that this is something that just arrived in the last few years, but social networks are new, but social media is certainly not new. Social media has been around since the early 2000 BC, they reckon, in terms of when the postal system came out. That was the first form of social media, and it's just continued to uh, move quicker and quicker and faster to get your messages out there over time. And it's the perfect platform for listening and learning to what people want. And then the key to that is, when you know what people's problems are, then you can solve them and get paid, right? And that's the thing. That's what we're going to be talking about here, is how do you do that? How do you tap into the fact that you can listen to the problems that people have? While, our general consensus, and if you were talking to your friends and you were looking at posts on Facebook or Twitter, you'd be like, or Instagram, why does that lunatic tell us that they have that problem? Well, we'll be looking at it from a completely different perspective, because that's how you can cash in on this, by helping people. And with social media, it also allows you to build a credibility, right? Long before it might be due to you, if you've got enough followers and you've got enough likes, you get instant credibility nowadays, which is crazy, really, because you may not even deserve it, but you get it if you learn how to do that. And it's a system. You just follow the system. Okay, so start off by building your credibility. That's the first thing I would say with social media, is get yourself started off with a blog. You could use free tools like WordPress or blogger.com, and secure your own kind of place on the internet. And that's the first thing I would suggest anybody does with their social media presence on the internet. Is I call it almost getting your real estate, your social real estate set up, right? So that you can um, find your name, ideally, see is it still available on all the different social networks. And if it's not available on the social networks, find a slight variation of your name. And those of you that are worried about using your name, just come up with a brand name for now for your company, and see, are the social network names available for that brand name. So that's what I would do, is I would go and find your name and also create a brand name, and just open accounts in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and get them, even if you're never going to use them. Right? Even if you're never going to use them, at least you have them, and you have them locked down. And why do you need more than one different social network to use? Well, because on average now, people use 5 different social networks, and that's incredible. Because when I started out, my challenge was trying to convince people that they needed to use social media. Now, on average, five different social networks would be common for people to be using on a day-to-day basis. So let me walk you through a very specific 4-step process that will enable you to master this art of being really good at social media, and more than being good at it, learning how to cash in on it specifically, like learning exactly how you can make money from this. Okay, so let's walk through that, and then, as I said, I'm going to be giving you a bonus 5th step before we finish up also. And we'll start with this step here on the left. we need to make sure that we are, where it says here, find your niche. Okay, we want to be very clear and focused on making sure we're in a business where people have a problem in this business, right? Now, and we'll walk through all of these together as we go through this. So the first step is this: finding your niche, okay, or niche if you're American based. Keep it simple, right? I know many of you, at least half of you here, have your own business, but I'm going to be suggesting to you, maybe when you're starting out, that it might be worth considering focusing even on a slightly different niche to begin with, because you need to be sure that your business or your products or your services are top notch, right? You got to be absolutely certain that before you start talking about your business in a more widespread manner on social media, that you can stand over your products and service and say they're excellent and that your customer support is excellent. And also that if you're driving traffic from social media to your websites, that the sales process works, that you have a really good sales process in place, that you know it will convert, it will turn the traffic from social media into dollars ultimately. Now, not many people can say that. A lot of people will have a lot of holes to plug in their businesses. So to begin with, what I suggest you do is you look at a niche where it's guaranteed to work. Just get set up and running with that to begin with. Learn how to use this system of marketing and making money. And then when you've plugged the holes in your own business, you can start to use the same skills and apply them to your business. Okay. But what are the big three that I suggest? Well, if you look at what Zig Ziglar famously said, you can have anything or everything, excuse me, you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. Right? That's a really, really profound statement. You can have everything in life you want if you would just help enough other people get what they want. And that is critical. Most people get into business because they want to do something. Well, what you want is kind of irrelevant, really, if when it comes to business. It's what others want will determine how much you're going to get paid ultimately. So stick with the big three, but no matter wherever you are in the world, people, and wherever you land, if you're landed anywhere on the planet, and even if you didn't speak one word of their language, there's going to be three things that people always want: health, wealth, and happiness. Health, wealth, and happiness. And people always want to get healthier, people always want to get wealthier, and people always want to be happier. So they are a long-term business, a business for life, where there's no such thing as you've just got too healthy. Oh, I'm too healthy now, I'm going to give up on health, or I'm too wealthy, I'm going to stop getting wealthy. Right? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. I'm too happy now, I'm going to focus on sadness for a while. Right? That's why these are three great niches, because they allow you to continually come out and offer more products and services to people over an entire lifetime. Now, that's the first thing. We'll keep that simple. Get into an area where people already have problems. Second thing is this. Then we go onto social media to find people with those problems. Okay, we're looking for people who have those specific problems. And social media is this pool of, or massive pool of people primarily going in there complaining about this, that, and the other, which is absolutely ideal when your business is based around solving problems. You've got this place that you can go where people go in and talk about their problems every single day. Okay, so this is why we use social media, because of this. This is the crux of the business that we're talking about. On the left-hand side here, we have a regular person. Okay, just a regular person with regular problems on a day-to-day basis. Now, on the right-hand side, we have our business owners. Okay, now half of you here today are business owners, and you know the struggles that business owners have, I would assume, right? In fact, it's proposed that 96% of all businesses will go out of business within the first 10 years. 96%. Now, this is traditional types of businesses, your standard bricks and mortar, the businesses that most people run. Now, how shocking is that? That even the people that go to university and get their loans that they need to pay back of $37,000, and then even after all that, if they get into business or are working for a business, there's only a 4% chance of success. right? It seems pretty crazy, doesn't it? It seems absolutely crazy. So this is why I want you to think about this, because with an online business, you eliminate pretty much every risk that's associated with a traditional business, especially if you follow this model that I'm outlining here. Okay, so let me just grab a pen actually here so I can draw this for you. So on the left hand side is a normal person. Now, we've been brought up with the idea, and traditional media will tell us, that everything we know changes. Every single thing that we're aware of on a day-to-day basis, we're told changes. Well, I would argue against that strongly, because the foundation of this business is based on two things that will never change. First of all, this person on the left is a normal person, and my proposal to you is this: that people will never stop having problems. Right? Have you ever met a person that doesn't have a problem? I certainly haven't. Right? And then on the right hand side, we have our business owners. 96% of them going out of business and they don't even know it yet. What's their big struggle? Well, basically getting in new clients and focusing on sales and marketing when they don't actually like it and they want to actually do the things that they got into business for in the first place. And then they just don't, they're not good enough at doing the basics of how do you find the clients? How do you keep clients? How do you keep clients happy? All of these challenges that business owners find very difficult to do. And a lot of them just give up because they prefer the stability of having a job and just knowing that they weren't the last to be paid every single week, right? So what my suggestion is this, is that you position yourself in the middle. You become the matchmaker, that you become the person that introduces the person with problems to the business owner who's struggling to find people for their business. Okay, that's ultimately what I suggest you do. Now, I know, as I said, there are many of you here that are business owners, and there's absolutely nothing wrong whatsoever in applying what I'm teaching you to your own business, but I'm just opening your eyes a little bit to think, well, maybe, just maybe, you could consider adding this as an additional income stream to your current business, because the benefit of this is that you don't have to provide anything when a sale is made. Your job is done. That's the downside of having your own products and services, is that as soon as you make a sale, it's bittersweet because, okay, fantastic, I've made money, but now I've got to do something, right? You got to go deliver a particular product or service or whatever it is that you were offering in exchange for that person's money at that time. So when you position yourself in the middle, you're doing what a lot of people have been doing for years, but you may never have realized it. Because the easy thing to say here is, like, Paul, but if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, right? And if something's too good to be true, it must be. So if we take a look at Uber, for example, the world's largest taxi company, they don't own any vehicles. Or if you look at Facebook, the world's largest sharer of content, it doesn't create any content. Alibaba, the world's largest store, doesn't have any inventory. Airbnb, the world's largest accommodation provider, doesn't own any real estate. And it keeps going. You could look at booking.com, doesn't own a single hotel. Amazon doesn't write any books. eBay doesn't create any products. They have all learned this lesson, that matchmaking completely de-risks business. You let others do the hard work, and then you introduce the products, the very, very best products on the planet, to the people who have those problems. And in that way, you can be so secure on a day-to-day basis about your financial future, because you'll know that for certain there are always going to be brand new products all of the time, rather than the headache that a business owner will have, because they know there'll be brand new products all of the time, and that gives them a headache because they think, what are we going to do? How are we going to compete? How are we going to continue to innovate? While when you're the matchmaker, that's the good news, because you don't need to worry about that anymore. All you know for sure is that there will be always brand new, amazing products that you can continue to promote to people in your niche who have those problems, right? Now, the thing is this, um, how we make this work is we build a mailing list, right? We're going to be going onto social media and building a mailing list to meet our goals. And on average, you should be making about $1 per person on your email list every month. $1 per person on your email list every month. So let's make sure everybody understands this. If you had 500 email addresses, 500 email addresses, how much would you expect to make on a monthly basis? You can just type it into the box there. So with 500 email addresses, how much per month? Yeah, absolutely, $500. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, the target would be 10,000 in your database. So what's really empowering about this, and people don't realize it until I kind of explain it, is, when we're looking to make more money, obviously our focus is on the money, but the money isn't ours to focus on. We're actually focusing on the wrong thing. But with an online business, you can focus on the right thing. You focus on the database, you build the database, and the money will be an outcome of the amount of people on your database that you help. So you actually are in complete control of how much money you want to make based on the size of the database that you build, right? So that's what's so exciting about this. You are taking control in an area where so few have control of, because we've just never learned it in this way. So if you actually then think about other uh, companies and what other kind of products you'd sell, that's the bit that people really have a challenge with. They say, well, I don't really understand that. Don't worry about it, because I'm going to cover all of that for you here today, so that you make sure you understand that, right? So in summary now from this section, just so you make sure everybody's with me, social media is used to create your mailing list. We're not trying to make sales from it. We're just trying to collect people's contact details, and that's where we make the money. Okay, so we take people's from social media, move them into our mailing list, and that's how we make the money. And how we make that money, I'll be showing you that now in just a few moments. So let's get into a bit more detail even now on why this works. Well, we're all familiar with Google, I'm sure, where you type into Google if you have a problem, like let's say you type in, I want to lose weight. What do we see? We see standard kind of problems that people have, right? Where people type in that they have specific problems. And so you see adverts. You see the advertisements to the problems that people wrote in. Okay, people trying to sell you stuff. But what if I told you there was a magic free website where if you typed in a problem, you didn't get a website trying to sell you something, you actually found a person with that problem? Hands up if you think that might be useful. Right? Absolutely. Remember, we get wealthy in accordance with how many people we help. So let's bring you over to Twitter for a moment. It even looks like Google. And if you typed in the exact same thing, like I want to lose weight, you will find people who are saying that that is exactly the problem that they're having at this point in time. Now, you might find that hard to believe, but it absolutely is the case. If you type in, I want to lose weight, you're going to get, and let me just show you an example here. You are going to get a list of people who are specifically at that moment in time saying that they need help. Okay, they actually need help right there and then with weight loss. So let's take a look at this example here. It's crazy. This stuff is just crazy, right? Carla here is saying, I want to lose weight, short and to the point. Linda, I'm watching the meerkat manor. I want the same metabolism as a meerkat. They lose 5% of their body weight overnight and need to eat lots. Caitlin, I only want two things, to lose weight and to eat, right? So these are like real people with real problems. Now, if you were chatting to your friends, you'd all have a laugh at this and say, look, I told you, Twitter is full of lunatics, right? They're the people you need to stop speaking to, especially around this business, because if you think about this, if the type of person who's willing to do this is the type of person who's actually desperate for a solution, right? And instead of thinking, well, okay, oh, I like weight loss, or I've created my own weight loss program, why would you do that? Just give them something that they already know, like, and trust. Why wouldn't you send them directly to Weight Watchers? Right? Now you might think, but I wouldn't make any money from that. Well, I'll explain that to you in a moment, that you absolutely can make money from sending them to somewhere like Weight Watchers, to products that they already know and trust. And you might wonder, are you a little bit late starting now? Well, let's say you go to like Tony Robbins's page on Twitter, for example, where he has 3 million followers. You couldn't start at a better time, because you could actually get your message in front of his followers, for example, in front of his 3 million followers. Not only that, if you use Twitter advertising, It allows you to type in the names of any accounts that you wish, and you can put your message in front of their followers. And not just their followers, they'll create what they call follower lookalikes. In other words, lots of other similar types of people that will most likely be interested in them too. That's 46 million people that you could get in front of with just that one tactic, right? Now, whose stuff might you promote to his people? Well, the obvious answer people would say is, well, I suppose mindset or personal development stuff. But the answer that if you start working with me on a regular basis, I'll have you drilled into learning this and doing it the right way. You'd sell his stuff to his people, right? And make yourself $300 or $400 from a single sale of just promoting his events to his people, right? And all for free, right? Absolutely incredible stuff here that you can just be doing on a day-to-day basis, and very quickly you're going to wonder why people actually go to a job. Because in Twitter ads, for example, you pay for clicks, so clicks to a very simple page where you give something away for free, which we'll talk about in a moment, or conversions. What does that mean? It means you pay per conversion. And what does that mean? It means you only pay when you either collect an email address, or if you're sending them to a sales page, you only pay when you make a sale. Now, any business owners listening will be thinking they heard me wrong there. So what kind of business is that where you only pay when you make a sale? Well, that's why I'm so enthusiastic about teaching people around this business, because it's absolutely incredible what you can do here. You can be setting yourself up with like a no risk scenario. Um, Now, you can target people based on the types of homes that they own. Here, 23 million homeowners, or whether they're a renter. You can target people based on their types of pets that they have, the types of credit cards that they own, when they last got a credit card in the post, the value of their home, their net worth, how much discretionary spare spending do they have. Look at this, net worth between 100,000 and a million, 1.8 million. Net worth of over a million, 88,000. That's just in the US alone with this screenshot. Now you're probably thinking at home, and this would be a very standard way of thinking, where did they get this information from, right? Hands up how many of you were thinking that. Where did they get this information, right? Please write down something for me. Please write this down. The quality of the questions you ask determine the quality of your life. The quality of the questions you ask determine the quality of your life. Right, and I bring that up for a really important reason, because it doesn't make one iota of a difference where they got this information from, right? The question is, where have I been for the last few years, and how do I get my message in front of these people starting today? That's how you get wealthy, right? That's the key thing. We got to start asking the right questions, because it's like asking, well, I'm not asking how does electricity work with, and not using the lights without understanding it, right? I might turn on the lights without having any clue how it works. And that's the thing, right? Target people based on the type of pets that they own. Incredible stuff. And by the way, I run 3-day workshops in the UK. I know you might type in actually where you are in the world today, please, into the chat box. Be very interested to know. I do run 3-day workshops in the UK where I elaborate more on and go in deeper into these strategies as well. You can find them on my home website, paulamahoney.com, at any point. They're £4,997 plus VAT. I haven't even changed that to dollars. That's about $8,000. But just to give you an idea of what I do, I have these 3-day workshops and spend 3 days with me going through step by step. But of course, I know many of you can't travel, or there's a few there from Texas. Interestingly, it's a long flight, 9.5 hours, I believe. There's a couple of people from Australia there. Welcome from down under. People from Iceland, that's an interesting one. Okay, California, awesome. Hawaii, awesome. London, great. Nice view from UK. Okay, excellent. Well, that's just to let you know that they are on in the UK. Run them about quarterly, just to give you an idea. Okay. Now, the best part about all of this is, no matter what level you're at, I can guarantee you somebody here has less experience than you and has made a lot of money on the internet. Of people of all ages, from as young as 11 to people in their 70s, making money from this system, just literally plugging in. And of course it works, but you're just giving people what they want. right? And getting out of the way yourself rather than, you know, getting your own ego in the way. You just step out of the way and let it happen. And I'll share some success stories with you today, but I don't want to spend too long on that. I want to spend most of the time teaching specifically what you can start doing. Right now, this would be a good slide to take a picture of, because this is what I cover in those 3 days, just so you have an idea of the 9 different areas that I get you focused on to make sure that you are a master of this, that you master your online business, from becoming an expert, even when you're not one, to the right niche to be in, to building your list, to the different traffic strategies, to building a relationship with people who trust you and love working with you over time, and how then you can start making up to $4,000 with a single sale with something called high profit products. Okay, and we talk about mindset and psychology a lot, which is critical to your success also. Okay, now just a little bit about myself before we move on. We're 45 minutes into our teaching. I said I'd get straight in and then let you know a little bit about myself and how I've ended up here speaking with you. Basically, I live a very fortunate life today. I get to travel the world constantly. I fly about 100 times a year on average, getting to see lots of different countries. I'll be flying to my 70th country this week. So really, really love what I do, but it wasn't always like this. I had a job. I worked in a full-time corporation for 9 years, in fact. But I'm able to do all of this traveling and doing what I love to do with my life because I outsource what I do, right? I'm not here today to teach you how to get another job. Right? I want to show you how you can learn this and then have somebody else do it for you, because that's totally possible. You can find people that'll do this for $2.50 an hour, that live even in the country that you live in. Um, Once you position it in the right way, people are really keen to learn how to do this kind of thing, because it is, I truly believe, the most sought after business skill in the world today. Right? And I have a picture. Oh, that's the wrong picture. I have a picture of me at an event in 2009 when it all changed for me. I was working in a company for 9 years, and in the ninth year, I called in sick for my first day ever and went into this event in Dublin, Ireland, where I sat there basically and listened and looked at these millionaires from the US making so much money on the internet. And that was the first day in my life that I realized that I had been sold a lie. I had genuinely thought that you needed to be really intelligent to make money, and that the key to getting wealthy was to getting letters after your name, to get qualifications. And then I listened to all of these speakers one after the other, and none of them were qualified from a college perspective. None of them had doctorates. Some of them had degrees, but that was about it. And I really, for the first time, realized that intelligence and wealth were not correlated at all. And I said, thank God, but I wish I knew that years ago. And as one of them said, I believe, your wealth is not measured by the letters after your name, it's measured by the numbers in your account. And for me, that was a big, big shock, because it really, really set me back, because I felt like I had been really led astray for 30 years. And I really needed to go and do something about it. And I ended up investing in 3 different programs from 3 different speakers about how to master this internet thing, because I realized if I continue to do what I always did, I was going to continue to get the results that I always had. And as Einstein says, insanity is continuing to do the same thing day in, day out and expect different results. And I just had to stop listening to anybody else around me and just decide that, you know what, I know nothing about this, and I know I'm not technical, but who cares? I'm just going to have to do this. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep looking back with regret in years to come. And one of the key things that I learned was this: that I alone am in control of my financial destiny. And a couple of the speakers got us to say that, and I kind of believed it. I took credit for what went well, which wasn't much, but I blamed others for what didn't go so well, which was a lot. And I set out on this journey, and my background is basically that both my parents were teachers. So, it was really reinforced to me that the key to becoming successful in life was to do well in exams, go to college, do well in exams, get yourself a permanent job, and then worry about the end of life at the end of life. And do you know what? It took me years to realize this, but you can't learn how to get rich from broke people. It's simple. You cannot learn how to get rich from people who don't have any money. I mean, none of you would take advice from your most overweight friend about how to lose weight. Yet that's exactly what we do when it comes to money. We take advice from whoever shouts at us, even though they've less money than us in many cases around money, um, because that's all we know, right? Even though we would never do the same in a situation that's really obvious to us, like health. But we do exactly the same thing with wealth. We take advice from whoever shouts the loudest. And when they say we're doing the wrong thing, we take their advice, and that's how we get stuck. So I've got a job for 9 years, as I said, and went to that event, and it all changed for me by deciding I need to invest in this. I need to learn how to do this. And that's exactly what I did. Started in February 2009. Next year will be 10 years. Well, any time now really is 10 years. I'll be at that where, and what I started to do then was I focused on my online business basically because it cost almost nothing to get set up. Okay, almost nothing to get set up. I had 30,000 Twitter followers in 30 days. My Twitter account became the third largest in Ireland. My Facebook page now has over 1 million likes. And I started writing for a big newspaper, the Sunday Independent. And the thing is, all because I just figured out how to get followers. In today's world, if you've got followers on social media, you have credibility, right? Whether you deserve it or not. And within 4 months of getting started, I'd made $10,000 in a month. The next month that doubled. The next month that doubled again. And suddenly I was making more in a month than I was nearly in 6 months in my old job. And I realized, even still, I wasn't sure if I'd made the right decision because it takes a lot to break down 30 years of training of the brain that this is the system, right? And that's why I totally get it for people that are here watching this, that this is very much contrarian to what you're brought up to believe. Like, money doesn't grow on trees, this kind of thing. Well, where do you think paper grows? Like, paper literally grows on trees. Money actually grows on trees. And we were told, well, if it was that easy, everybody else would be doing it. Well, everybody else isn't rich. Only 17 million people on the planet are millionaires. That's 0.242% of the planet. So what everyone else is doing is none of my business. I want to do what people who are very wealthy are doing, and that's 0.24% or 1 in 500 people. So that's what we need to start looking out for, is following the path of people who are doing things financially, at least, in a way that we would like to model and replicate their results. So I started showing others what to do because I was invited to get up on stages around the world eventually, because I was the person that was in the audience, followed the system, implemented it, and people really resonated with me because I was just normal. Wasn't showing pictures of Ferraris and mansions because I didn't have them, quite simply. And I still don't, because that's not where I choose to spend my money. But, I get it. It's normal. But the thing is, it's not about you. I know everyone here today can do this. It's just pressing buttons. I know if you can make it onto this web class, that you can do it on, you can do this on the internet, because it still involves pressing buttons in the right order. You just don't know what that order is yet. But the bit that holds people back is the mindset, it's the belief, the lack of belief that they can do it because they haven't done it before. But that shouldn't be the reason not to do it. If anything, that should be the reason to do it. Because if you were learning something you already knew, you're not going to be getting new results. It's time to learn new things. And now I get to speak on stages all over the world with household names that you'd know, like Richard Branson and Bill Clinton, and really, really well-known speakers. Tony Robbins would be another example. But that's really not that important for you guys. What's more important is that people all over the world that just started following the system started making from hundreds to thousands to tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars per month by just following the exact same system. Like Janet here, with her first Facebook ad that she placed, she spent $10 on the ad and made $1,500 off of one Facebook ad, and she switched it off. She panicked. She said, "This can't be legal." Right, $10 into $1,500 in 12 hours, and she turned it off. She said, "This just can't be right." And that's the crazy thing with this. It's very different to the norm that you can make money in this way. Alison here, 63-year-old grandmother, in charge of her three grandkids. When she did the program, she had no background, of course, in social media or online marketing or any of this, but she compared it to cookbook recipe style. She said, where just like baking a cake, you can know the ingredients of sugar and milk and flour and water, But and you know that you need an oven, but if you don't know how to mix it in the right quantities and put it at the right temperature for the right time, it goes in a mess and it comes out a mess. And very much like a social media business or an online business, you know you need either a laptop or a phone. You need Facebook and Google and email and YouTube, but somehow you end up wasting money rather than making money. And that's exactly it. And Alison went on to start making over $15,000 a month from this, right? And in her 60s. So don't, whatever your excuse is, put it on the shelf for now, because it is very, very different to what you might think. And anybody can do this. It really, really can. So the one wealth belief that Alison had was that if somebody else can do this, then so can I. And that's a really important belief that you should have. Just decide. Just decide that if somebody else can do this, well, so can I can do it too. And you absolutely can. I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. Right. So, and then you get to meet people that, kind of that you don't never expect that you would do, or I wouldn't have in my normal life. That's Jack Dorsey on the top left, the founder and creator of Twitter. Below him is John Assaraf from the book The Secret. John's a good friend now, and we do some business together. And on the right is Tony Robbins, who an event I went to back in 2009 kind of changed my life quite dramatically. This is more recently, I think last year, where we met again. And look at the size of his hand there. It's like bigger than my entire chest. And I've got to speak with these people all over the world. And somebody once sent me a picture of this where there's pictures of Gary Vaynerchuk and Zig Ziglar, Bill Clinton, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, um, John DeMartini, Brian Tracy, and then there's me in the corner. And I remember thinking, wow, that's just incredible, because most people here, the average age is in like the mid 60s or late 60s, and they've spent a lifetime becoming experts to get onto these stages. But in today's world, even if you never want to speak or even be a public figure, you can start to make the money of these people by just applying the skills of running an online business. Right? You truly can, and just it doesn't take long. You can get started in literally months. And I now speak with the likes of Tony at events. Spoke with him for the first time in 2016, and that's just to give you an idea of what's possible, right? And I'm sure you can do a lot more than that too. But the key is you got to learn. Okay, you got to learn to earn. You got to learn for the right to earn. And it took me quite a while to realize that. But as Mark Twain famously says, I never let my schooling get in the way of my education. And at 30 years of age, everything that I learned up until then, I realized taught me how to get a job and how to get by month by month. That's when my schooling ended. That's when I stopped looking to do qualifications, and I started focusing on the things that put money in my pocket, which was how to master the art of running an online business and how to manage money. And as I said, I do run these 3-day workshops. That £5,000 plus VAT, just so you know, for those of you, most of you that are outside of the UK, it's about $8,000 for the tickets. Now, let me go through Facebook as well a little bit. To kind of for the social media perspective, and then we'll rapidly move through then database building and the last two steps of the process. Facebook, you saw the targeting that we did on Twitter. You have even more options really in Facebook, but just a couple of things, like they've made it so easy now that you don't even need to have the person type in their email address. They can literally click on a button twice and join your list. So for example, here, if you click on learn more, right? Or if you click on this example, download, Facebook will automatically enter the name and email address in there, right? They'll actually put it in for you. So the person just clicks twice and they're then on your list, right? So that's $1 per person per month, remember, 2 clicks, right? And you don't even need to worry then about having to get people even to write in their names and email addresses. So it's absolutely incredible what's possible. That's a lead generation ad. That's what that one is called, a lead generation ad. Now, I do have Twitter and Facebook advertising courses. They're online. They're $3,994. This is where I go through lots of different types of ad strategies. But when you look at this money, you might look, expensive. However, what you need to understand is this: you are learning how to make cash on demand. Right? You can literally make as much as you wish by learning these strategies. This is not common knowledge. So few people know how to do this. And I'm going to be sharing with you now how you can actually take this knowledge and start to get the kind of results that these guys got. Like Alfred here, he works 60 hours a week in his full-time job, sent me a message on Skype saying, hey, Paul, just made over $200 in a day. Then at the workshop, he was telling me he was now making over $350 a day. That's $127,000 a year on the side of a job. I mean, hands up if that might make some kind of a difference in your life, do you think? Right? It's crazy stuff, right? That this is the kind of money that can be made, but you know what? It absolutely can. It absolutely can. Now, Runa here, this guy made over $130,000 in 4 hours. $130,000 in 4 hours, right? Again, generally speaking, selling other people's products to people who are looking for them. So let's move on now from social media, right? So we talked about niche, health, wealth, and happiness. Social media, we've gone into detail now into Facebook and Twitter, or Twitter primarily, just to show you there's an unlimited amount of targeting opportunities where you can target people based on what they like, where they live, anywhere on the planet, how much money they make, what house they live in, the age of their kids, where they work, their hobbies, the kind of car that they drive, the credit cards that they have, just incredible stuff. The third step then is offering a free gift in exchange for people's contact details. I'm sure you'll have seen things like this before on the internet. Even signing up for this class this evening or this morning or middle of the day, where depending on the time where you are now, you were asked to fill in your details, right? So you're giving something free in exchange for people's contact details. So how do you do that? How do you take this database? Well, remember, the key thing we're looking to do with social media is to collect people's contact details, right? So, and then we want to guide them in the direction that we want to send them so that we can offer them various products or solutions that will be a shortcut to them. You'll still give them lots of stuff for free, but at the same time, many of them will want the shortcut. And again, so what we're aiming to do is to make about $1 per person per month. That's quite conservative. You can definitely make an awful lot more than that too, but it's a good starting point to focus on. Now, I'm going to give you a link specifically for a software that will allow you to create those kind of pages for yourself. If you go to leftclickrightclick.com/clickfunnels, you don't have to go now. I'd recommend you don't actually go now. You can take it down though to go to it later, and you can start with a 14-day free trial to build one of these. Right now, when I started 9 years ago, you had to hire a web designer, but now you can get started with a free trial. So leftclickrightclick.com/clickfunnels. That's where you can go to get a link to create one of those for yourself as well. Okay, so that's step one, niche. Step two, social media. Step three, database, all in place. Now we want to talk about step four, monetization, or which is the fancy word for making money. How do we cash in on this? Because we know we're in an area where people have problems. We know we're in an area where we found the people who have those problems. Now we started to collect their information in exchange for giving a free gift. Now, how do we cash in on this? Right, that's the bit that people really struggle with understanding. How do we automate this process that people are going to be rushing over each other in order to purchase from you? Well, that's what step four is all about, automating the sales machine. Okay, automating the sales machine. And what we do for this is basically we set up emails. Okay, emails. I'm sure you've heard of those before. And the emails are there for is to allow you to automate this entire process. Okay, you can automate all of this so that you don't have to be there sending contact details or collecting information, giving people free gifts. All of that stuff can be automated for you using tools called, and you can write this down, auto responders. Auto, A-U-T-O, auto responders. And the one I recommend is called ConvertKit. ConvertKit, that's the one that is my favorite at the moment. But there's also ones you may have heard of before, like Aweber or GetResponse, depends on your experience. But if you've never heard of autoresponders before, you don't need to worry whatsoever either at this point in time, because you'll need more help with me for sure on that. Okay, but it's called an autoresponder, and that's what organizes that you make sales during the night or during the day. You just set this up once, and then it's up and running and working for you forever. And that's the beauty of all of this, is you can just set it and forget it. That the money just comes in once you've it set up. So it's very different to having a job or running a regular business where it's constant. It's a constant grind, right? The whole thing can be just set up, automated, and working away in the background. So the question then is, well, what do I sell? Or can you maybe explain that a little bit more around what kind of things would you sell? Well, anything on Amazon, for example. I know pretty much everybody here has probably bought products on Amazon before. You should have been making money when you bought from Amazon, right? Literally the money that you spent, you could have been getting money back on, because you could have signed up as a partner to Amazon, also known as an affiliate. And if you buy anything on Amazon through those links, you will get a percentage commission, right? The same with eBay, right? You will save more. You will save more by investing in my program than you will ever uh, invest with me. You'll actually save more in the next year, I guarantee you, just by doing that. Um, eBay, if you buy anything on eBay, you should be signed up as an affiliate, because you can promote anything on their site. So why would you bother writing a book when you can just promote any book on Amazon and get paid for that? Or any product or TV or anything that you're buying on it, you can promote and make money from that. You can promote the world's best training courses of other people. You can promote other people's events. I mentioned Tony Robbins's, for example, earlier today, right? That his events are about $1,000 minimum. You could be making $300 to $400 from just letting Tony Robbins followers know that he's coming to New York, or coming to Los Angeles, or coming to London, coming to Sydney. The products of famous experts, you can just sign up to sell those for them, and later you can go even and create your own, right? There's an unlimited amount, literally hundreds of thousands of products that you could start selling, so that you can then just focus on marketing rather than focusing on products, because that's where most people go wrong. They start off by thinking about what will I sell rather than who am I selling to. The what isn't the key, the who is the key. The who has the money, right? The what, the product, isn't important. We're not into products, we're into solutions. We sell solutions, we don't sell products. Okay, so there's endless solutions available. And then high profit or high ticket products are the kind of products that really get people excited, because this is where you can make a lot of money from a single sale. So for example, even in my own case, you can make up to $600 from a single sale, or you could make up to $1,800, up to $4,000 from a single sale. And that's just promoting my stuff, right? And any of you can sign up to promote my products at leftclickrightclick.com/affiliates. And that's where you're promoting somebody who you know, like, and trust. And you can make money from, like, literally you just send an email address in my direction, and you could make up to $4,000 from a single sale. Or if you add those up together, that's 5,800, $6,400 from one particular person is what you could make by just promoting somebody else's. So that's why this is so valuable, because most people will think, oh, you know, I better go create my own stuff. Or right, like you're prolonging this journey by 2-3 years, when you could actually start making money next week by just actually focusing on promoting products that are already out there, that people already want. And then you can add yours, of course, later, but get the money in first, take the pressure off, get the income in, multiple streams of income. Okay, and that's the beauty of this. Remember, I started knowing absolutely nothing about any of this whatsoever. I know absolutely nothing about it, and that's the beauty of it all. Okay, the fifth and final step that I promised you that I was going to tell you about is ongoing support. You absolutely 100% hand on heart, I'm telling you this, if you want to make it in this business, you need support, just like you do in any other business, right? How were we taught in school, right? We were educated, we were given books, and we went with lectures and classes, and we were given homework. And then the only reason we ever did it was because we got in trouble if we weren't held accountable. And then, just as we were about to get into life as we knew it, we were cut off with no support structure, no more teachers, no one else to show us. And then we ended up wondering why we're miserable and comparing ourselves to others and not happy with the results. Ask yourself, when you're speaking to people around you who are not abundant in money, who are not happy with their lives at this point in time, ask yourself, how many of them have coaches? How many of them have got guides that are showing them exactly what to do to get out of that mess? I can tell you the answer will be none. If you look around you, the answers are there, but we just don't know what questions to ask. If you then look at successful people and you want to know how they got there, look at the team they have around them. Look at who they have coaching them, showing them step by step, and have shown them all along the way. And that's the difference. We have to be shown how. Just like we showed our kids when they were going to read, we didn't just say, here's a book and please read the first chapter. We showed them the letters first, the alphabet, and then we showed them words and sentences and so on. And that's how they finally got to master it. But when it comes to us and when it comes to money, we've been shown how to count and how to spend, but we've no idea, generally speaking, how to learn how to be financially smart around money, how to grow successful businesses without risking money, how to invest, how to grow, and how to make profit all through our lives. And yet that's how we're expected to make a living. The thing is, it's not your fault. We need to be shown how. The secret to success in all areas in life, whether it be business, whether it be in sport, if you look at the top athletes in the world, the top golfers in the world, every single one of them has coaches. Every single one, right? And you may have heard the saying before that there's no I in team. Okay, you may have heard that one before. Another message that we hear, and we just tend to believe after a while, that there's no I in team. Well, there is an I in team actually. It's hidden in the A hole, as you will see here. It's hidden in the A hole. And why am I sharing that with you? Because my belief is this, that you need to focus on becoming a little bit of an a-hole for just a couple of months and focus on you. Put yourself as the priority, because that is the only way that we can make a difference to the people around us. We can't tell them what to do. Just look at when we tell our kids what to do. They won't do what we tell them, they'll do what we do. Let your results do the talking for you. I'm sure you've done programs in the past or courses in the past where you didn't get the results that you may have wanted. But this can be completely different, because this time I don't go shouting around about it to others. I let the results do the talking, right? When you're on a flight and they say in the case of an emergency, and if you're with a child and the oxygen mask comes down, they say always give the mask to yourself first, then tend to other people around you. And it's exactly the same with your finances. Until you focus on you and realize that nobody cares more about your money than you do, you're going to continue to struggle, unfortunately. But as soon as you do master it, that's what's going to allow you to help everybody around you master the same thing. We need to be shown how. Excuse me. We need to step up onto the shoulders of giants, follow somebody who has done that. A lot of us in life, unfortunately, measure the wrong currency. We measure our currency in money, and we act as if it's scarce, when we treat time as if it's abundant, when time is actually the most scarce commodity that we have on the planet. My motto in life is to spend as much money as I can to shorten as time as much as possible. I pay for shortcuts because money is abundant, but time is scarce. Money will continue to keep replenishing in your life one way or the other, but time won't. So what you need to do, from my experience, is take money and pay for the shortcut so that you can then spend as much of the time doing the things that you love later. Or as Grant Cardone says, pay the price now so that you can pay any price later. And that's so true, right? So can I ask by a show of hands here, how many of you feel like with my help that I could help you a lot, help you enormously with your online business? Okay, fantastic, right? And I hope that you don't mind if I can make an offer to some of you to help you moving forward. Okay, I can't extend this to everybody, but I do want to outline how I can help some of you moving forward from here, no matter where you are in the world. Nothing gives me more joy, I have to say this, than watching a student make money online. Right? It is so fulfilling, because people often wonder, Paul, if you've made the money you've had, why do you do this? Because I love it. This is only one of 7 businesses that I have, right? But I love teaching. Remember, I'm the product of 2 teachers. It's in my genes. I really enjoy teaching, but teaching something that makes a difference. Because as soon as I show somebody how to make money online, I know I've impacted 10 people, because they're going to tell their friends and their family. And then they're going to inspire people around them. And then they can go and inspire others and make a real difference on the planet. Right. And that's what we're here to do, is to make that difference. And what I do is I have coaching programs and I have workshops, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. And you're probably guessing too from listening to me that mindset is extremely important to me. And it is. Mindset is critical to all of this. Getting clear on having your head in the right space, knowing who to listen to and what to listen to and what to tune out of, and how not to get into arguments with people where you just can't win. Right? Don't get dragged down to. Don't argue with somebody who has no intention of losing an argument, or who doesn't let common sense get in the way. So it's really important to focus on your mindset. And I have a training program actually online called Magical Mindset. It's 1997. It's online for sale, but today you can get this for free when you invest in full. Okay, now I haven't told you what the investment is today, and I haven't told you how I can support you in full yet. But if you bear with me, I will. And thank you, by the way, for staying. And remember, you're going to be getting access to that Instagram cheat sheet in just a few moments from now. And I really would love to work with you, but unfortunately, as I said, I can't do it for everybody, and I mean that. But this is how I can help you, so that you can get results like this guy, Luke, here from Australia. Um, Luke, he sent me a message on Facebook saying, "Hey, brother, record week last week, just over $26,000. He was a part-time primary school teacher, packed it all in for this. That he was making I believe, $26,000 almost exactly in a year with his part-time school teaching job. Then he was making in a week. Then he sent me this email saying, "Hey, brother, sorry, how's it going there? I hope all is well with the little one too." That's my little baby. I had an old friend tell me he saw me in one of your emails. I told him to sign up to your course. I think he's going to do it. This is what I wanted to show you here, though. I had my biggest sale, so you know as well. I made over $100,000 worth of sales in a day. Loving the journey. $100,000 in a day, right? And he's not even excited about it anymore. He's saying he's loving the journey. But it's not that kind of testimonial that really inspires me. It's this one. This guy Salman came to my workshop, with his dad, and he wasn't meant to be there. But the dad said that the babysitter fell through. I said, "Fell through what? Hope she's okay." And he sat in and he gave Salman his iPad, and he just said, "Stay quiet." But Salman was glued, and he was watching exactly what I was doing, exactly what I was doing. And while the people were watching and kind of double guessing what would work and what wouldn't, etc., etc., he put up his hand. I said, "Yes, Salman." He said, "Can I share something?" I said, "Yes, please." He said, "I just made $200. He actually said £150 in the UK, so $200. I said, "Salman, can you tell me how long since you started that? How long did it take?" And he said 11 minutes. Every single adult in the room had the same look on their face. You little shit. How dare you prove to us that this actually works? It was almost like their worst nightmare that this worked. Your kids are on their phones, they're constantly, and it probably drives you insane. Instead, we need to give it a rethink, because that they could be making you an absolute fortune and retiring you early if coached and trained in the right way. In fact, at a workshop more recently, this guy, age 11, Caden, came. His father came with him, put earplugs in, and didn't listen to anything. He said, "This guy is my retirement plan. That his father is my new hero." And the son won the competition that we ran at it. He won a bottle of wine, actually, and he sold it to someone else in the class. But this inspired me to set up a company, because I realized, you know what, I really need to push myself and go to the next generation, because none of this is difficult for them. They were born with Wi-Fi around them. They don't know anything other than cell phones. So I set up a company called Financial Freedom, aimed at children between 7 and 17. The book actually is going to be launched very shortly with this as well. But it's aimed at teaching children between 7 and 17 how to be financially smart, how to understand the importance of money, how to manage it, save it, grow it, invest it, compound it, how to set up online businesses and offline businesses. And it's all animated, the whole thing, an entire animated series, a membership program, the whole lot. And this is where my head is at. I plan on teaching an entire generation. I want to have 5 million children through this in the next 2 years. And that's why my focus is moving away from teaching adults and moving into teaching children, because none of this is difficult. It's all child's play. But the thing with teaching children is they don't give you their life story and a million reasons why they don't think they can do it, when every adult can do it too, but kids just don't have the sticks, the scars to hold them back. And it's really inspiring to me, and that's what I'm doing now. And um, I hope that you guys are committed to that from today, that you're going to make some big changes. Okay, that just just be careful, be so careful with your time, and be so careful who you give your attention to and who you listen to and whose advice you're taking around money, because people are afraid that you'll succeed, unfortunately. Right? They're worried that it'll actually work for you, because then you may start moving on to bigger goals and bigger hopes and dreams. But look, the thing is, there's no point looking backwards. Whatever happened up until now, it's over. It's experience. It's what you do between now and when you drop is what counts and what matters. And I know it can start to change today. And here's your official invitation. You'd already know if you really like the idea of working with me, if you have a feel that you like my style, and hopefully you do. And I'd imagine you do if you're still with me and listening at this point, and thank you and congratulations for that. Here's the invitation, okay? I want to make you what I consider an irresistible offer here, where you have absolutely no choice other than to do this. When you just think, you know what, this is going to happen and this has to happen and I'm going to make it happen. And I want to work with you directly to make this happen for you, starting right away. Okay, and I've broken this out into different pieces so it's easy to digest, so you can understand what is included as part of this. Firstly, it starts off by having coaching web classes. Okay, starting this week, you'll receive an email this evening, which will start to outline the dates of and time. Actually, tomorrow of the date. It'll be tomorrow. I'll be clear on that. Tomorrow with the dates and times of the first call that will be delivered. And then there'll be a number of these that will be drip fed to you over the next number of weeks. Okay, so live web classes that I'll be doing, and they'll be drip fed to you over the next number of weeks. Okay, so there'll be 5 of those in total. Okay, so that's just me delivering training to you. Number 2, I'll give you the training videos that you will need to set this business up. So I'm going to be giving you everything from Twitter, making money from Twitter, making money from Facebook, making money from LinkedIn, making money from YouTube, making money from blogging, making money from emailing, making money from building your list, and also outsourcing. I'm going to show you how you can have somebody else do all of this for you. That training, in fact, I will allow you to take the trainings and give it to your outsourcer so that they can do this for you once you've gone through it yourself first. And total value there is just shy of $15,000, because each of these courses have been sold separately, but I've taken them all down offline now, because I really want to keep my knowledge for people who are deadly serious about this and committed to making this happen in their lives. So first is the web classes, then the membership access to the website where you'll get all of your trainings. Thirdly, I'm going to give you the Facebook and Twitter advertising training. So I told you that's online for $3,997. So this is my ads programs. How to start running ads on Facebook for $1. How to start running ads on Twitter for 1 cent. Yes, believe me, 1 cent and $1. That is possible. People will tell you a year from now that there's no way that was the case or everybody else would have been doing it. That is exactly what the case is. It can never stay as cheap as this forever. It just cannot happen. So this is the time to get started as quickly as possible. Number 4, the thing I am most proud about in my company is that we're consistently voted the #1 highest customer satisfaction rating in the United Kingdom, where we, on average, get over 97% plus customer satisfaction. And our students, on average, are 52 years of age. So that gives you an insight, I hope, into how much effort and focus we put in to making sure that you are happy, that your needs are met, that your requirements are met, and everyone within our help center are people who've done this program, been through it, have actually even come to the workshop, sat through that, and are making money online themselves, but choose to work with me within the company because they learn obviously as well, and they work closely with me as part of this. So you will get access to that help center. That's total value of 1997. So any questions that you have and queries will be responded to. Okay, just before I get into number 5, I've made a couple of sound adjustments here, so hopefully that should improve the sound. There were some comments there that it was breaking up. Okay, fantastic. So number 5 as part of our offer is the one that has been called out for by students of mine for years, and it's probably the most important of all because it involves you receiving personal one-to-one support to build your online business. We are literally going to be giving you a step-by-step setup and guidance to your business. In fact, we'll get you started with this right off the bat. So it'll walk you through the process. It gives you the exact blueprints of exactly what you need to do. And I will have one of my experienced coaches call you, and you will work together one-to-one on exactly what you need to do by basically giving you your assignments. And then they will call you and check in to make sure everything was done according to plan. If you had any queries around that, we'll support you on that. So it will walk you through the process over 5 personal calls. Yeah, you've read that right. We're going to be giving you at least 5 personal calls, just you and our coach, making you sure that we get this done. Basically, how it will work, it's like almost building a house. We're going to be taking you step by step, going through getting your foundations in place, then getting the floor down, then getting the first floor in place, then moving upstairs to the second floor. So step-by-step manner. So regardless of if you have no experience whatsoever, we will make sure that we walk you through this in a step-by-step manner, one-to-one, hand-holding exercise. Okay, so it's exactly as it sounds here. I know it's people are blown away by this because it is phenomenal that this is going to be included. 5 one-to-one calls with just you and the coach. So regardless of your experience, in case you feel that you're worried about asking questions or that your question might sound silly or whatever that is, this is going to be included as part of your program. Total value $1,497. That's been very conservative here. And this is how confident I am in my program, is that the only thing I want to make sure you do is that you do it, because it works every single time. All we need for you to do is to actually do it. And how do I make sure of that? I provide you with the coach who will personally walk you through the process. Okay, so quick recap. We'll have our welcome call, then 4 more prepared coaching calls that will be drip fed to you. Then you have access to the membership site where all of the different training programs are in there, from Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, email marketing, list building, and so many more besides. Then we'll have your Facebook advertising training, your Twitter advertising training, access to the help center, so where all your questions and queries can be answered specifically through our ticketing process. And as if that wasn't enough, you're going to have your hand held through 5 personal one-to-one coaching calls to get this whole process kicked off for you. Now that's a total value of $26,482. But tonight, I was thinking about what specifically I should be selling this at. Now, regardless of what time it is in the world where you are right now, I'm going to make this absolutely a no-brainer for you. I did consider selling this for $4,997 because if you look at this, right, $26,000 worth of value, and if you look through each of these, in their own rights, they are all worth at least that. If you just look at those coaching calls alone, with the experienced coaches you're speaking to, they're just been valued at $300 each, which, in real terms, they're worth so much more than that. So I could comfortably right now be charging $4,997 for this, but I'm not going to do that. For this exclusive workshop and web class special, I am going to give what I would consider an absolute no-brainer of an offer here. Right? For the next 12 minutes, I'm going to make a huge discount on this to just make it a no-brainer for you. How much, you might ask? 80% discount. Yes, absolutely. 80% discount for the next 11 to 12 minutes, which brings this to just $997 in one payment. $997 for everything that we talked about. Now, if you're one of the first movers, if you're somebody that's deadly serious and you know that this is going to happen, I'm going to make this completely impossible to say no to, because
I'm going to get you to click on this button right now. Okay, so get you enrolled right away. Okay, it's only the first few people that are going to get in here. Okay, so please click on the button enroll now immediately. Okay, so that we can get you on board. And as I said, if you're going to be one of the first few, if you're one of the serious action takers, I am going to get you some unbelievable bonuses right now, some absolutely incredible bonuses. Okay, so these are the go now bonuses if you get jumped in the next 11 minutes. Bonus number 1. Instead of our help center supporting you for 6 months, you're going to get an entire year's of support, 12 months support as part of this. Okay, so you're not going to need an entire year, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to give it to you to make sure that you have absolute comfort that regardless of your experience, even if you're just starting out, that you have an entire year's worth of support as part of this $997 offer. Again, this is just for the next few minutes or so. Bonus number 2. Okay, for the next 5 minutes, I talked about the workshop already and how important this is. Everything from becoming an expert, how to choose the right niche, how to build up your database, the different traffic strategies that are working today, how to build your relationships, the types of paid advertising and running ads that we can do, find products and services that you can sell for multiples of thousands of dollars, how to have the right mindset to build your wealth, and everything primarily focused on making money and delivering money to your bottom line. Well, this is the 3-day workshop that I've talked about, okay, step by step, what we run on a regular basis in the UK. And we do have a waiting list in place for our live training sessions. So what I'm going to allow as part of this, part of the bonus, is you will get access to a recording that we very recently did of the entire training. So you don't even need to leave your home. So as part of bonus 2, you are going to get access to the recording of the 3-day online business and social media mastery workshop. So this, as I said, it will be drip fed to you. It'll be in the membership site. So you'll be able to, from the comfort of your own home, enjoy the entire 3 days of training. And you can pause it and watch it and rewind and go back and watch it again. So this is the huge bonus. And again, this is only if you act now and you get in, and this is no extra investment for you. You get all this as part of the $997 offering. As I said, I'm going to make this a no-brainer for you, and I meant that. So you're going to get your help center support extended for an entire year. You'll get the recordings of our most recent 3-day workshop. Bonus number 3, I'm also going to include how one of our students and now one of our coaches, Jake, has mastered Instagram, how you can get 10,000 followers on Instagram in just 30 days, how we've got over it's actually now 200,000 followers without doing a single post on Instagram, okay, in case you're worried about what you're going to post up there. And this is a training that Jake and I did so that you can listen in on this. It shows you how to start immediately and the very latest money making strategies from Instagram. So this is going to be your 3rd bonus, get you started on Instagram. Bonus number 4, another student that we have has become a coach. His name is Vishal. He's become an expert in Facebook Messenger bots. Facebook Messenger is something you've probably heard about, you could well be using. It has over 1.2 billion users. I want to share with you how to get set up with Facebook Messenger. This is going to be one of the most powerful tools on the internet in the next 12 months. Now, you either start seeing this happen to you and you get targeted by other marketers, or you can be at the leading front, the leading edge of this and get this implemented for your current business or your new online business. In this training, we'll be showing you how you can get open rates of over 90% from Facebook Messenger, how you can create these chatbots, which are an automated Facebook Messenger, and charge up to $5,000 for packaging up and selling these to other businesses. And this is, as I said, one of the most exciting areas in the internet right now. And this is something you'll be able to get your hands on right away as part of the membership site. Bonus number 5, as if the first 4 weren't enough. And as I said, I just want to make this a complete no-brainer for you. In the last few months or so, I have interviewed 2 of the top minds on the planet when it comes to mindset. John Assaraf and Dr. John DeMartini, both personal friends of mine, so they agreed to come on and do training for you guys. I am going to include their training webinars as well as my own magical mindset as part of this package today as a complete bonus. For anybody that pays in full today, you're going to be getting access to this Mindset Mastery Vault. So complete no-brainer here. Listen to some of the greatest minds on the planet right now, and this is an additional bonus for you if you decide to pay in full today. Bonus 6, as if you hadn't enough already, I'm going to invite you to something very, very close to my heart. And this is a half day, in fact, it's a 3-hour training that I'm going to be delivering online. Okay, so online for your sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters, nephews, nieces, neighbors, kids, whoever it is in your life that's important to you, whatever child or teenager is important to you. It's a step-by-step guide on for them how to become smart around money, how to become financially smart. Let them learn the things that we never learned in school. You know, it's one of the things that is just completely avoided in school. So how to become financially smart, we'll show them little saving systems that will enable them from a young age never to have problems around money for their entire lives if they follow the system. If they're entrepreneurial, we'll be showing them how to set up an online business from home. And we'll also show them how to set up an offline business. So if they're not that interested in computers, how they can set up a more traditional business right away. And we'll be giving them as part of this like little checklist to set up where they can set up a business in just a few days, step-by-step guidance. And to be honest, if you're a parent, this is something you can be doing yourself and follow along with them. So you can share it with your other family members. It's going to be recorded, so you can get access to this and share it with whoever you wish. Now, you know, this is going to be $997 when sold separately, but this is going to be included as part of your package. And will be available to you within the membership site itself. So this is, you know, this is why I love to do what I do. It's changing the next generation, making a massive impact, and not just telling them how to, you know, how to make all this money. It's about how to make an impact on the planet. In fact, we have a part of this where we have an app where we gamify this and make it fun for the children and teens in your life, where they'll be measured in terms of how successful their business is, how successful they are financially, but also how much of an impact they make. Because a big part of what we do here is assisting children in other developing countries who don't have access to the same things that we do in the first world. So we'll be strongly encouraging your child to reach out through an organized process that we have to share the skills that they're learning with other children in developing countries, so that they truly can make an impact and see that impact that they can have firsthand on, you know, people all over the world, to just support them, to grow them, and to really inspire your child, and to inspire you as a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, and inspire everybody you know, to show that you are truly making an impact. So this is huge for me, and this is going to be a bonus as part of your program. So let's just do a quick recap here, because it's going to be a little bit overwhelming with the amount of content that you're going to get all as part of this offer here. Right, we have a total value now of over $40,000. You're going to get your welcome call and 4 more prepared coaching calls drip-fed to you. You'll have VIP access to our membership site, where all the trainings will be, including your Facebook advertising, Twitter advertising. You have an entire year's access to the help center if you're one of the first, because you get that as part of one of our bonuses. You have 5 personal one-to-one coaching calls, where we give you the blueprint of setting up the foundation and your business step by step. Personal one-to-one interaction, and that's where we'll get you started off with. You'll have recordings of the 3-day workshop live. The most recent one that I did, you'll have access to that, so you can watch it from home without having to travel, depending on where you are around the world. We'll give you the Instagram and Facebook Messenger training with Jake and Vishal. You'll have access to the Magical Mindset Vault. This is a pay in full bonus, where you get John DiMartini, John Asraf, and myself. And as I just mentioned, the half-day young adult online training on how to become financially smart and how to set up their own business. And as I said, $4,997 would be a very reasonable cost for this, but today your investment is only $997. Now make sure you click on the link and jump in right away. I can see some people are having challenges getting in from the messages. I know that's because there's so many people trying to jump in right now, so just be patient, okay? Keep checking every 10 seconds or so, every 20 seconds. Click on that link again, and hopefully you can get in. Now, let me ask a question. How many of you would like to have a one-to-one specifically with me? Have a personal call with just you and me to review maybe the business you have now, or the current business that you're going to be setting up with me? Okay, fantastic. Okay, lots of you, thank you. Well, I want to fast track your success and results, and that's what this one-to-one call is going to be about. Now, again, this is only for people who have already signed. Congratulations, by the way, if you've already got in. I can see some of your comments, you've got in, fantastic. So anybody who's already got in, you're going to get this already. But for those of you that are not sure, you're still considering, well, guess what? If you jump in right now, like my one-to-one daily rate is $12,997 when you get to work with me. But what I'm going to be doing is including, if you would like to upgrade, okay, when you purchase the program for $997, you are going to be given an option to upgrade. And the upgrade includes the following. You can come to any of our live workshops in the UK. Okay, so this will be specifically in the UK. Now, so you can choose from our calendar. So as soon as you sign up, one of our team members will be in touch within 24 hours. They'll give you all of the dates that you can come in the next 12 months, any of the specific 3 days that you would love to come. And as part of that, you will be receiving a one-to-one call with me. Now this, in order for you to get this, you'll have had to purchase the initial offer of $997. And as soon as you do that, you will be offered an upgrade. Okay, you'll be offered an upgrade of not for just $997. This will enable you to come live in person to the UK. As I said, you can choose from the dates that will give you the next 24 hours, and you get to work with me one-to-one. Okay, so this is an absolutely incredible opportunity to upgrade for one-to-one, to come work with me directly. Okay, so again, you're only going to get this through this specific web class that you're seeing right now. Now, if you've already purchased and you weren't sure what that was, no problem. I'll give you a contact detail in the moment for us to enable you to upgrade. Okay, so this is strictly first come, first served. Okay, so any of the dates in the next 12 months, we will allow you to come in person. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna add something crazy here actually in just a moment. So this is the 3-day workshop that we're talking about. I mentioned it earlier. We're step-by-step guide of exactly what you need to do to get your online business up and running. What I'll do is, if you get in the next 3 minutes, you decide to upgrade, okay? If you decide to upgrade in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to allow you to bring a guest also. Okay, so that's a total value for that ticket of $5,997 alone. That's for one. I'm going to allow you to bring a guest with you so that they can travel with you to the UK. Okay, so you're going to get 2 tickets to the workshop. I hadn't even decided on putting this in earlier, but you know what? You guys are okay. I can see lots of excited comments. Okay, fantastic. What do you need to do? You just click on the link. Okay, and as soon as you purchase this first stage, $997, there will be an offer of an upgrade. In fact, okay, once you go in here like this and you make your purchase, you will then be offered this upgrade. Okay, so I talk about it there briefly. So as I said, I've just decided there you're going to get 2 tickets to come in person to the upgrade, to come to the workshop. So once you make your first purchase of $997, you'll see a page just like this to upgrade, to purchase the investment of your 2 tickets to the workshop, plus a one-to-one call with me directly. Plus, there's a money-back guarantee on this. Okay, if you change your mind in the next 2 weeks for whatever reason, have your money back. I don't want your money if you're not going to do the program, right? I want this to be completely win-win. And just as a thank you, you'll get my blogging program completely for free, and we will still give you the 5 personal coaching calls. We'll still get you on that route to success, step by step, walking you through the blueprint of what you need to do, exactly step-by-step guidance of everything you need, plus 5 one-to-one calls, making sure that you have your questions answered, that we check in on the tasks. This is how much I believe in this program and how much I believe in you, so that even if you decide, you know what, I'm not so sure, I still will give you those calls. Because truly, you know, what's the point in me doing this if I don't want to make a big difference in your life? And that's exactly where we're coming from here. We want to make sure this works for you. So that's why I'm giving you 2 weeks to change your mind, okay? Because if you do get cold feet or whatever it is, no problem. But I can tell you, if you follow this through, it's going to change your life from a financial perspective. So it's highly likely that you will follow through and do this, because Warren Buffett, as he says, investing in yourself is the most important investment you will ever make in your life. There's no financial investment that will ever match it, because if you develop more skill, more ability, more insight, more capacity, that's what's really going to provide economic freedom. It's those skills that really make that happen. Now, this is from the guy who's been consistently the wealthiest man in the world overall over the last 20 years. He wasn't selling a program. He wasn't asking you to buy something from him. He's just telling you from his heart what he truly believes is the most important skill set that you can ever have to become financially independent. And it's investing in you, investing in your education. And if you look at this, guys, we're talking about $2.73 per day, right? That's like, it wouldn't even cover a cup of coffee, right? One cup of coffee a day. So if you're a business owner, of course, this is a write-off against your company. This is marketing training. And if you decide to go, which I recommend you do, to the live workshop and get 2 tickets to that and the upgrade, for me, you're talking about just over $5 a day for a year. $5 a day. Right? That's 1 cup of coffee that you can have less each day, right? And that's all you're talking about to have all the support you need. Call with me, 2 live tickets to the workshop, right? And if you decide to upgrade, and it's all written off against your company. If you're not a business owner, you're about to become one too, so it can be written off against that company. So, this is what we're talking about here. It really truly is a no-brainer. You're not going to come across an offer like this elsewhere. I know that because I study closely what others offer, and I want to make sure that mine is the best. So instead of it being $4,997, this is going to be $997 for the exclusively online package. And as I said, if you do want to upgrade for the in-person package and get 2 tickets, you'll be asked to upgrade, and that will just be an extra $997 on top. So just some final words for you guys. You're probably already on social media. You don't particularly have to like it though, as I said, right? You're already spending your time, certainly kids and family and friends are, right? But your kids and grandkids are already spending their time on computers. But from now on, you'll be reminded every time that you and they could be using that time to create massive wealth instead of wasting away their lives on this planet. So, it's really, really important that you take action on this right away. And instead of $4,997, just $997 today, right? 5 years from now, I can guarantee you there will be conversations being had where people will say, I heard back 5 years ago that on Facebook you could run an ad for like $1 or £1, or on Twitter you could run an ad for 1 cent or 1 penny. And the other person is going to say, come on, that definitely isn't true, because if that's all it costs, wouldn't everybody have been doing it? Why wouldn't everybody have been doing it? Please make sure you're not part of that conversation. Everybody 5 years from now will wish they started now. You probably wish you started 5 years ago, but let me tell you this, there has never been a better time to start. Why? Because now Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Instagram ads, they found their feet. This is the time when it all begins to take off. There's only one time ever where you can get involved in the start with social media advertising, because this is where it's at. Okay, so please don't have a regret from 5 years from now for $2.73 per day, right? Getting access to this. Or as I said, if you wish to upgrade and come in person, it'll be just $1,994 and you'll be offered that straight after. Here's a list of everything we talked about once more, okay? Step by step, everything that you need, from online access, help center support, personal coaching, Facebook ad training, training for your children, everything and more than you'll ever need, including your mindset. Okay, now, if you have any challenges, or if you would like access to a payment plan, there are also options in there for a payment plan, and you will see that on the order page. I can see people asking, Paul, can I divide up the payments? Yes, in the order page, if you click on the same link, right, the same link on the order page, you will see there are options to get a payment plan. You will miss out on the Mindset Mastery training, which is there for the pay in full, but there is that option for you. So please click on that link, get started right away. Here's the email if you do get stuck, if you can't get through. I see some people are still struggling to get through. So please make a note of this email, and in the subject line, just write in OBMO offer, please. OBMO offer. Please put that into the subject line so we'll know exactly what you're referring to. So OBMO offer. Okay, so that's if you can't get through in the next 5 minutes. You know what, I'm just going to leave this open for a few more minutes because I can see people are having a challenge getting in. And by the way, here is your commitment bonus for staying till the end. Here is your link to the download of how to do the perfect Instagram post. And there on the bottom again is the link to get registered right away for your training for the OBMO, the Online Business Mastery online training, to get you started on this. So look out for emails from us in the next 24 hours. Okay, you may not receive anything in the next hour or so, just in case. Depends on what time it is where you are. So keep an eye out in the next 24 hours. If for any reason you don't hear from us, if for any reason, this is why I'm giving you this email address. Just in case, if any challenges, please make a note of this. If you haven't heard from us, there's absolutely no problem. Okay, we will get in touch with you, provided you reach out to us. You should hear from us anyway, but sometimes nowadays, if you haven't got an email from somebody before, it could get lost in one of the filters. So that's just a backup plan, just in case you don't have that. Okay, so here's the link, here's the offer. everything you need. I'll leave it open for just a few more minutes to allow you to get in and subscribe. You won't see anything like this anywhere else. So please, please, please take me up on this opportunity. I would love for you to be my next success story. I'd love even more if you could come in person and bring a friend or family member with you to the workshop so that we can spend some time together and focus on you specifically. As I said, I'll leave it open for just a few more minutes. 997 for the exclusively online, and a 997 upgrade if you do wish to come in person to the UK, you and a friend, a family member, and also get a one-to-one with me. Thank you so much for listening. Please get yourself registered right away and make a note of this email address just in case you get stuck. Thank you very much. Take care, and we will see you on the program very, very soon.